Welcome to the salmon capital of the world. Today we're stepping off the cruise ship and into the incredible town of Ketchikan, Alaska. We only have one day at port to take it all in, so we're going to make every single second count. We're going to step back in time with a stroll down the iconic Creek Street, where historic stilt houses line the wooden boardwalk right over the water. Then we'll dive into the area's rich native heritage as we marvel at some of the world's most massive, breathtaking totem poles. We're also going to make sure to grab a delicious bite to eat and hit up some of the best local shops along the way. It's going to be the ultimate Alaska adventure. Let's get into it.
Now, the heart and soul of this community is Creek Street. Today, it is a picturesque boardwalk lined with colorful shops and local cafes. But back during the Gold Rush era, this was Ketchikan's notorious red light district. Now, walking down these historic wooden planks, you can still feel the rugged lawlessness energy of the frontier. If you follow the boardwalk all the way to the end, you'll find the Merry Man's Trail. Now, this is a secret path that men used to take, climbs up into the dense forest canopy to make sure that they weren't seen when they were coming visiting Roxanne.
By the early 1900s, the town boomed with a flood of single working-class men, mostly gold prospectors, miners, and fishermen. To keep the town's growing, less than reputable business out of the main downtown area, the city council passed an ordinance in 1903 banishing all brothels across the water to the east side of the creek. Because the mountain slopes were too steep to build on directly, resourceful builders erected a wooden boardwalk on massive wood pilings, suspending the entire street directly over the rushing water. This was the birth of Creek Street, which quickly evolved into Alaska's most notorious red light district. During the 1920s, Prohibition actually made Creek Street thrive even more. Bootleggers smuggling Canadian whiskey would wait until high tide, row their boats right under the boardwalk, and slip contraband into the brothels and speakeasies through secret trap doors built into the floors. At its peak, Creek Street was lined with over 20 brothels, largely run by an independent, business-savvy woman who found a rare way to own property and build wealth in the early 20th century. The most famous of them was Dolly Arthur, whose iconic greenhouse still stands today as a museum, preserved exactly as it looked during her working days. And if patrons needed a discreet escape during a sudden police raid, they would run out the back doors and up into the forested hills along a path jokingly nicknamed the Merry Man's Trail, a route you can still hike today. The wild era finally came to a close in 1954 when the red light district was officially outlawed and shut down. But instead of tearing the boardwalk down, Ketchikan preserved it. Today, the legendary saying about Creek Street is that it's the place where more men than fish went upstream to spawn.
There is a definitive reason why Ketchikan is officially called the salmon capital of the world. If you visit during the summer months, the water beneath Creek Street literally turns black with hundreds of thousands of salmon swarming into the creek, fighting their way upstream against the rushing current to spawn. It is an absolute battle for survival, and right in the middle of town, you can watch these massive fish launching out of the water right here.
Ketchikan is home to one of the greatest survival stories in nature. Every single year, from midsummer through the fall, the waters of Ketchikan come alive with millions of wild Pacific salmon returning home to spawn. Ketchikan is home to all 5 major species of Pacific salmon, and they arrive almost like clockwork. First will come the kings, the giants, prize-winning Chinook salmon that start migrating in late spring. By midsummer, the sockeye and chum salmon join the race. But if you are standing on Creek Street right now in July or August, the massive schools of fish you see clogging the river are most likely pink salmon, affectionately known to the locals as humpies. You can easily spot the males because they develop a massive dramatic hump on their back as they enter fresh water. Finally, the silver coho salmon bring up the rear, pushing up the river well into October. But why do they do this? Salmon are androgynous, meaning that they are born in the exact same freshwater streams, migrate out to the open ocean to live their adult lives, and then, using an incredible internal magnetic compass and an advanced sense of smell, They travel thousands of miles back to the exact birthplace where their lives began. Once they hit fresh water, they stop eating entirely, focusing all of their remaining energy on swimming upstream, leaping up waterfalls and fighting the heavy currents. The females will use their tails to dig a nest in the gravel, lay their eggs, and after the males fertilize them, their life cycle comes to an end. They die right here in the river, providing vital nutrients that sustains the entire Alaskan ecosystem. From the bald eagles and black bears to the massive rainforest trees towering above us. It's a beautiful, brutal, and awe-inspiring spectacle, and you are going to be able to witness it firsthand.
Behind me is the salmon ladder. When the salmon are spawning, the ladder will help them overcome the obstacles here of the rapids. Now, salmon spawning season for the kings starts about the middle of June and goes through July. It is June 23rd and there's no salmon spawning right now, so maybe we're a little bit ahead of the game. We're now on the Merry Men's Trail. So this is where the merry guys would come into town, sneak back here down to Creek Street, and, well, get that hug they were desperately looking for. It is extremely beautiful here. The canopy is very lush. The sound of the white water rapids is very calming and soothing. It's just a phenomenal place to be.
Just a short walk from the cruise docks lies the Totem Heritage Center, a place that houses one of the most unique collections of native art in the world. Inside, you will find yourself standing face to face with original 19th century totem poles rescued from old abandoned villages. Unlike the freshly painted replicas you see around town, these poles are beautifully weathered and silvery gray with aged perfection, exactly as they were found to honor the master carvers who created them.
Now, to enter the museum, it is $7 for an adult, $6 for a child. It is free to seniors, children under 12, military, and local residents. Behind me is Dolly's house here in Ketchikan. This is a famous historical site here on Creek Street, once the town's notorious red light district, and is now a museum that offers a preserved, candid glimpse into the life of the woman who ran it, Dolly Arthur. This business was started in 1919, and a average in the era woman that worked here made $1 a day. It closed business in like 1953, I think. When prostitution became illegal. But you can come here and get a glimpse into what it was like during the mining times for ladies of the night. Now, that house is known as the preacher's house. The preacher moved in here to try and help clean up the street and reform it, because at the highest peak in 1929, there were 33 brothels here on Creek Street. He couldn't get anything changed, so he ended up changing the address to 208 Stedman so that he could get away from the stigma of the red light district. Now, the next big thing to do here in Ketchikan is to catch the log show. Now, here they do speed climbing where athletes race up a 50-foot pole, then free fall back down. Competitors will balance and run on logs floating in the water. And then they do axe throwing and chopping competitions, as well as both power and traditional cross-cut saw competitions. I can hear everybody cheering from all over the area, so I'm trying to get in before they do another cheer, but whatever's going on back there is definitely a crowd favorite. Can you hear it? Definitely got to go check that out.
If you're planning a trip to Ketchikan, you have to save some time and some room in your suitcase for shopping. What makes Ketchikan so special is that right outside the cruise ship port, you have two completely different shopping worlds to explore. The moment you walk off the gangway, you step into the main port area. You are surrounded by bustling historic storefronts. This is where you'll find iconic shops like the Tongass Trading Company, which has been outfitting miners, fishermen, and travelers right here on the docks since 1898. The port area is absolutely perfect for grabbing your classic Alaskan sweatshirt, ordering some world-famous smoked salmon to be shipped back home, or picking up local wild berry jams and syrups. But once you leave the docks and take a short walk over to the historic wooden boardwalk of Creek Street, the shopping vibe completely changes. Those bright, colorful historic stilt houses that used to be the red light district are now home to some of the most charming independent boutiques and art galleries in the state. Creek Street is the place to look for authentic one-of-a-kind treasures. Keep your eye peeled for the official silver hand or made in Alaska emblems in the windows. These tags guarantee that what you are buying, whether it's beautiful jewelry made by local jade, hand-carved cedar gifts, or unique prints, is authentic art made by local and native Alaskan artisans. From quirky bookstores to world-class galleries, shopping your way from the cruise docks to the creek is the ultimate way to take a piece of Alaska home with you.
So we're going to go to Burger Queen. Apparently Burger Queen has much better burgers than Burger King.
Now, no visit to Ketchikan is complete without making a stop at legendary local landmark Burger Queen. Tucked away just past the town's famous tunnel, this tiny, unassuming burger shack flips some of the absolute best food in Southeast Alaska. It's a favorite for both cruise ship crews and the locals who line up side by side for their juicy, hand-pressed cheeseburgers, thick, old-school milkshakes, and fresh, crispy halibut fish and chips. The lines can get long and seating is limited, but grabbing your food to go and eating it right by the Alaska waterfront makes every single minute of the wait entirely worth it. If you want to eat like a true Ketchikan local, this is the ultimate spot.
So Burger Queen doesn't really have anywhere to sit. They have two tables. They get filled up pretty quick. But we got our food, and then just a short walk is this park. So we just got a seat here, and we're going to enjoy our lunch and get back to shopping. Yay. I'm just here to pay for everything. Oh, depending on which port you come to, you got 4 down there, and you have one here. They do have a shuttle that runs to Walmart and into town. It runs every 20 minutes, and it's free. Well, if you want some fresh or frozen salmon or halibut, over here at Simply Salmon, they will ship it to you. So if you catch it, they can send it home to you. So the Simply Salmon building used to be a mill, and there was a 22-foot water wheel right there, and they used it to create barrels for the salmon, and then they eventually became a cedar mill to make the cedar shingles for the houses. Now, if you happen to be staying at the lodge, the tram is open from 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. It's going to take you all the way to the top where you can start or finish the Married Man's Trap. Well, that completes our time here in Ketchikan, Alaska. If you have any questions, let me know. Please hit that like button if you like this video and found it helpful. And if you want to hit that subscribe button, I have all kinds of videos from Alaska, coming from Alaska, including 7 and 10 day trip itineraries with locations to sleep, places to eat, and things to see. Until next time, I'll see you next trip.